Hello and thanks for watching Best Maths Tutors. I'm continuing to go through the Edexcel Foundation Tier Paper 3 from 2019, and this is question 27. I'm covering all the questions, so if you find this helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel to see the rest of our videos. So question 27 is a question which says that Sean has drawn a time series graph to show the numbers in thousands of visitors to a fun park. And we can see that what we've got here is this graph where we've got numbers of visitors on the vertical axis, and we've got year on the horizontal axis. And it's a time series graph as well because year is a time quantity. So we've got something that's changing in time on the horizontal axis. But what we're told is that two things are wrong or could be misleading about this graph, and we've got to try and write down what they are, or write down at least two things that are wrong with this graph. So I'm going to try and list as many things as I can spot that are wrong with this graph. Now, the first thing is, if we were having a time series graph, these points here on the graph should actually be joined with a straight line, because we don't know that it's a curve between them. We should always join these points with straight lines. So that's the first point. Points should be joined with a straight line. The second thing that we can see is that the vertical axis doesn't start at 0. So that's misleading because actually it should start at 0. Instead it starts at 6. So that would be a second point that we could easily make. So one, I'm going to say that point should be joined with a straight line. Two, we could say that it should start at 0, not 6. The next thing that I can spot on here is we can see we're going up in steps of 0.5. So we've got 6 to 6.5, and another 0.5, we've got 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9. And then all of a sudden the scale changes. So we've gone straight from 9 to 10. So that's something that's gone wrong there. That actually should be 9.5, and that one should have been 10. So we could say that there is no 9.5 on the graph. So in other words, the scale has changed. So other things that we can see on here, we've got these numbers 2, 3, 4 that keep cropping up, but there's no actual explanation to what these are. So that is misleading. So we could add another point that it doesn't explain what the meaning of these points are, 2, 3, and 4. I would imagine that what they are, and the meaning of the person who's drawn this graph would be that they would be seasons. So usually a time series graph would have actually 1, 2, 3, 4 for the seasons. So if we was doing this correctly, really what we should say is that the 1 there would be the first quarter. So dividing the season into 4 gives us quarters. Then we'd have the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, etc. Fourth quarter, so I'm just struggling to fit that on there. But so we'd have the fourth one as well. So we don't explain what the numbers mean on the horizontal axis. So that's something else that's wrong with this graph. So that's no explanation as to what the numbers on the horizontal axis mean. And also, I would say is, if we're doing a time series graph, we actually need the number for the first quarter. So assuming that this is quarters, these 1, 2, 3, 4, then we've got the first quarter is missing. So we should actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 to get the full year in there. So my fifth point is that there is no first quarter to each year. And so for this question, we only need 2 of these points actually, but I thought I'd just go through all the ones that I could spot that were misleading for this graph. So any 2 of these points would give us all the points. So there's two marks for this question. Any two of these points would give us 2 marks, so 1 mark for each point that we make. So I hope that's been helpful, and if it has, please give our video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.